Colorado is the most bet team right now to make the college football playoff, believe it or not. And I wanted to kind of ask you, is this realistic? Colorado in the 12-team college football playoff? I think that kind of opens up a lot of opportunity for teams to be in contention for, win it all. What do you think it's realistic to, with this Colorado football schedule, that they could make it to the college football playoff?
Now, we went through this, and I said that they would lose to Texas Tech and Utah, right?
9-2.
Texas Tech and Utah are their losses. So, and then they could end up playing Utah again in the title game.
Yeah,
I still believe that. I think they start, what, 7-0, 8-0. I think they go to Lubbock and lose. I think they lose to Utah at home. They beat Kansas, which I said it was in Lawrence. The Kansas game is in Kansas City because Kansas's uniform or their stadium is being revamped this year. They're not playing home games there, and they're good. Mm-hmm. But the Kansas City atmosphere, that's going to be a travel destination for CU fans to go to Kansas City. And then the Oklahoma State game, that's going to be the one. If they can get to that point in the season and they're 9-9, they'd be 9-2 at that point.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Around 8-2, whatever. At that point, the Oklahoma State game, I think they're going to be really, 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 really good. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a battle for a seat in the Big 12 title game. So if you don't go to the Big 12 title game, you can't get into the playoff. They could take two Big 12 teams. If one of them's undefeated and one of them has 2 losses and the 2-loss team wins and the undefeated team is 12-1, both of them will probably get in. But at the same time, bro, it's look, they've got one game at a time. They need to take care of North Dakota State first. The Nebraska game is going to be an absolute dogfight. Nebraska does not want to lose 4 in a row to CU. I mean, look, bro, and we don't play again for a long time, so let's just be real. You don't want to go down 4-0 and then just have us talking shit until we play again. The Colorado State game, that we know that's wartime in Fort Collins, and then you get a chance to go back into the Big 12 after they left where did they leave in 2011 or 2012 for the Pac-12, and that was not a good idea. So now you got to go back into the conference that, like, I'm not going to sit here and talk shit like we ran the conference. Oklahoma and Texas ran it, but we ran our division.
Yeah.
I won a Big 12 title there in 2001. I played in 3 of them. They played in 4 and 5 years. They only won 1 of them, but they played in 4 and 5 years. And if you go back and look at the number of teams that have played in the Big 12 title, CU has the most times played in the Big 12 title game, and they haven't been in the conference in 20 fucking years. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity now to go back in. Nebraska's gone. Missouri's gone. Oklahoma's gone. Texas is gone. I'm looking at it like you figure out a way to compete with Utah consistently, and Oklahoma State and Kansas State, you earmark those as your rivals. Mm-hmm. And take care of everybody else, dog. We got an opportunity to go run this fucking conference.
Yeah, no doubt. And do you think that week 2 game? I know you kind of talked about it on JB's show a little bit. Do you think that week 2 game is going to give Nebraska or give Colorado any trouble at all? Or you see them running the table 7-0?
Look, the Nebraska game is going to be the last possession. Whoever has the ball last probably going to win. Both defenses are going to be strained. They got a lot better at quarterback. The Raiola kid can really play.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have a lot of people leaving the transfer portal. And Matt Rule, if you look at what he's done notoriously, he flips programs pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And Nebraska is primed to flip.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to be one of those games where you look back at the end of the year and go, Nebraska might be a playoff spot. CU might be a playoff spot. Who won week 2? So don't tell me that all these games don't mean anything. I'm telling you, look, I was the first senior in CU history to beat them 3 times. Okay? Beating them 4 times in a row, it sounds good. Now it needs to go be done. I was at the game the last time they won in Lincoln when they started this series off again in 2018. The touchdown to LaVisca Chenault in the right corner to win it. I was at the game when they threw the flea flicker and they came back to beat them in overtime in Boulder where they carpeted the stadium and they all left unhappy. We took 2 years off and then they waxed the fuck out of them last year. I mean, they beat the dog shit out of them last year. And I just think that this year is, if Nebraska can't figure out a way to beat them this year, then the tide is 100% turned in this rivalry. And now all of a sudden you got to stop looking at the overall record and just start looking at the record like recently. So, hopefully they can figure out a way to keep playing each other.
Yeah, no doubt.